Now we're open. Now let's see if I can share this to my personal
Oh yeah,
Facebook page.
let me do that too.
Yeah, so welcome everybody. It's Ed and Rich from Spark Innovations.
Hi.
And what I'm going to try and do is find the video on my computer on our Spark to share. If I click on our Spark page, I should be able to find it, right? Will it let me share? So welcome everybody.
I shared the post. Yay.
This is our live Friday night kind of chat Q&A session. We got a weird setup now because we're in the middle of setting up our new warehouse stuff.
Yep.
There it is. Let me share.
Cool. Yeah, we're a little discombobulated. I'm preoccupied in my brain because our site, I told you guys in, I think it was not the last one, but the one before that, when we went live, that I was going to try and push the new website live. And I did earlier this week. And there was some database issue, the tables in the database, apparently, and things that were supposed to be mapped were not mapped. And so I'm kind of starting from square one in some ways, and it sucks. And our site's also really slow right now, and I can't figure out why. So I'm trying to fix that.
Let's do that as a topic for Q&A. So we do this with less structure than our Wednesday show, but still some structure. It can be a Q&A about anything tonight because we haven't really sat down this week to have a full topic. So if you have questions about website stuff, about our website in particular, it could be about our products, about our facility, about what we're doing. Because as Rich said, he made the new site go live and there's bugs. We picked the week that we were also doing physical renovation in our warehouse. Yeah. And of course, there's hangups with that. So you can ask us about that, or we could just spitball and talk about random things like that. We do have Scott Dilbeck, Gary Davis, and Jason Stokes.
Hey, guys.
Jason asked if we're getting hammered by the snow.
Cigar Joe is there too. Hi,
Cigar Joe. We've gotten some snow, but I wouldn't say hammered. It's funny that we can have a bit of snow here, and people like us are used to it and fine with it. Yet there's still the crazy people on the road that a half an inch just drives them nuts. So here in Philadelphia, we get kind of a mixture of, I would say, confident drivers on the road in snow and very low confident drivers. A decent mixture.
You're also more likely to have people around here where have all season tires, whereas some place like Chicago, my cousin lives there, and winter tires, like it's a known thing. Like even like how they say like, oh, women don't know much about cars. Like the women there get all winter tires, and they know the time of year to do it and how long they need to wear them for. So around here, you get more people, I guess, staying home, whereas in Chicago, you have to still travel, and the roads sometimes are just white. Like
they get that lake effect. You remember the ice we saw up in Niagara? We went to Audio Thunder that one year.
Yeah,
that Chicago gets that too.
Oh right, yeah,
the water.
Canada was terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, I was shocked how bad their snow management was.
We were ice skating on a row of bushes, like hedges on a lawn, and it was just so coated with ice that we were able to like skate on it.
Much respect from Detroit. Keep up the great work, fellas. Hey, we appreciate that, man.
Gary Davis says he's moving to a bigger new shop. I did see a couple of your posts. 405 Car Audio, Gary Davis, and it looks like, I think you said you're going to build a new wood shop and you got a bunch of bays going on, so it looks kind of like a dream place. It almost looks triple the size of what we got going on here.
Nice.
So definitely a big move on up. So congratulations, Gary, and good luck with setting up.
Yeah, man. Are you going to be getting more workers to help you, or is it just still going to be just you? Because I remember you saying you did everything by yourself, and I was kind of shocked. Yes, sir, 6,000 square feet. That's amazing.
6,000. What do we have here?
This is like less than 2,000, I think. This is like
1,800.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, yeah. So a little more than 3 times the size. Wow.
Wow,
Jeez.
that's great, man.
Yeah. Do you got snow up there? Now, this is probably the first time in 3 years I've had my HHR in the snow. I do have snow tires on it right now, but yeah, 2 years ago had a broken clutch in the winter, and then last year I was doing the body work and painting, and then this year. So yeah.
So he's got 2 employees. Good for you, man. If you're doing more installs, I'd like to get you stocked back up with some Spark stuff. It's been a while since you've ordered.
Yeah.
We've got like Speedy, which I know you haven't used yet. You obviously have Fanny, so that's a perfect addition, a new Speedy. But also to your customers, you know what I mean? Like now you can offer more things. We have, let me see, we got 2 different voltmeters that we got. One is a single USB, very similar to the one we already have, but it has a capacitive touch switch. And we've got a single voltmeter with a capacitive touch switch in all 5 colors of the single and red, green, and blue of the USB. I'm trying to think of what else you might not have seen. Oh, we're also going to release our thermometers. We weren't going to.
Thermometer.
But we're going to. They
read up to
120 degrees Fahrenheit,
yeah.
Right? And I was talking to G2 Paul earlier today, and you know, saying how a lot of the guys want ones that read higher, and he says, yeah, but what's the idea to prevent it from getting too hot, right? So if you're going above 120, you shouldn't be there anyway, so cool it down. And I thought there was some validity to that. So we're just going to tell you guys, we're going to just disclose, hey, you know, this is the temperature reading range. And then we're also engineering a new one that reads higher, reads up to 158 degrees Fahrenheit. That'll be a couple months out. But yeah, you know, it's not like going to read voice coil temperatures of like 400 degrees. So
I mean, it's a probe on a wire anyway. You can't really connect that to a coil, but heat sinks and whatnot. And we got other things in the works. So this expansion here, I'm in a rack right now. I'm in one of our pallet racks.
No, he's not. He's in Afghanistan.
You can see up here, that's going to be our second floor. And we're going to wall off this back section here. That's going to be our shop. So we expanded our shelving, and we somehow increased our floor space, our usable floor space.
Mm-hmm.
So we have more room for activities.
Yay.
Over there, because we put everything on bunk beds. Everything goes higher now. We have 12-foot tall, 42-inch by 12-foot and 8-foot racks, and it just increases our surface area that we can use now.
Yep.
By a lot. So extra space means extra inventory. We're going to get more parts of things in, more items to build here. We have more space to build more items, and a better, more efficient workflow as far as even just walking around and getting to workbenches and whatnot. So we should increase our yield. That's the idea anyway. Become a nice factory to pump out some products for everybody. You get so many notifications.
Well, this one's delayed. Now live on your channel, live in Sparky.
But also all the customers that come in. Usually Rich is the one that fields customer inquiries on Facebook. And when they come in through email, it could be either of us because we have different mailboxes. Sales at the support at. So if it's an inquiry through the thing, I think that comes to sales, which both of us can reach. There's support at, which usually is for technical support, but it could be sales support. It could be however you want to reach us. It's going to go somewhere.
And there's shipping at too for orders and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Jacko says hello.
Hello, Jacko.
Hello. Hopefully we'll be back on schedule on Monday. We got the rust dust. Actually, Rich put up a little video of the dusty stuff. That was this rack.
Yeah.
And we're under it with all the stuff. All week I've been blowing. So we did buy these racks used. A fraction of the price as new. So when you're a small business, that just it helps out all over.
Yeah.
So we could get more racking than we normally could. Otherwise, the caveat, the drawback is that they're beat up. They're rusty. They've probably been sitting outside in storage until they were sold. So they got rust on them. So we go to set them up and it's nasty. They're covered in dust. You go home, you're just filthy. I mean, you guys know how that is. You work in shops and whatnot. It's like, let me set up this shelf real quick, and all of a sudden you're just covered.
Yep.
But hey, we got it all set up, so that's great.
Travis needs some racks badly. I tell you, man, it makes a world of difference.
Yeah.
Especially we have a metal building. I mean, this thing is very, very tall. So there's all that vertical space we weren't using before. And it's like, wow, you can really fit a lot of stuff up there.
Yeah.
And then it opens up the floor, and you have all these other work surfaces. It's really great. So yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I recommend use Travis. You're a small business as well, and if you find something in Vegas, buy JP's old racks.
How is what is man saying? Well, Chronic, we're moving along in our current project. This is a slow time of year, but it's starting to pick up a little. Guys are starting to get ready for competition. I think mentally we're a little stressed. I am. I know that. I'll feel better once I get all the bugs on the website fixed, because I want to do a sale this coming week, for tax season. And so I got to get everything, set up and working and smooth and fast on the site beforehand. But yeah, we're trying to set ourselves up for more success, more area to put raw parts, more places to store finished goods ready to ship out. We've come from a place of building as orders came in. It wasn't intended to be a build to order system, but that's just how things worked, because we could never produce fast enough. As we've gotten faster, there have been a few times where there's been boxes up on the shelf, but they didn't last very long. They would not sit on the shelf for very long. No box has ever gotten dusty here, which can be a good problem because you're not sitting on overhead. But at the same time, we need to get over and above our financial overhead, our monthly nut. So the only way to do that is to invest big, sell big, and then repeat the cycle. And I'm impatient and I don't like how slow things are moving, but that also pushes us to move a little faster. So hopefully things will loosen up a little this year and we'll be able to grow over and above how much we grew last year, which I believe was 78%, somewhere around there.
Volume, yes, about volume. And Chronic is all about that grind, selling your soul. Now, I would say you got to find that life-work balance for sure. When it's your company, especially if you're doing your thing, man, it takes a bit of work to get there, but eventually you find that balance. You need a day of rest. Tell you.
He says that. I disagree. I work all the time.
I also have insomnia and get like 3.5 hours of sleep at night. So yeah.
Yeah, it's so for me, there's always something I could be doing, right? Technology allows me to deal with overseas at night, work on the website, do administrative stuff, accounting, bookkeeping, all that stuff's available online and digital. I can do it on my phone. I can do it on my laptop at home. So the only way we are going to grow faster is to put in more effort, to contribute more, because our rewards in life is going to be in direct proportion to our service, right? The amount of stuff that we put out. So I saw you mentioned Elon Musk. He said, if you are starting out a company and you're working 90 hours a week and your opponent is working 45 hours a week, you're going to reach your destination twice as fast. And I agree with that. And that's why I'm trying to put in as much as possible. And that's also why it's frustrating, because you're like, you put a lot in, you're waiting for it back, and it's like a little comes back, and it's like, oh man, but you can't stop. You can't let that get you down, defeat you. So it's just like, all right, how about this? And I don't want to be one of those people that says, at what point do we stop putting out work? When are we going to learn? I don't want to be one of those, because I've seen people get skeptical, not skeptical, cynical. And that never helps successful people. So just keep plugging away. All about the grind. I agree with that too.
See, my philosophy on it's slightly different, where just like we were talking about having to do the facility here, We need to set up the racking in the new area to work more efficiently. But we also got to take the time away from production to do that. So it's a setback, but we'll move at a faster pace after it's done.
Hopefully. I mean, that's in business, that's called sharpening your saw.
Yeah.
You know, it's the story of the old guy that was in the woods trying to saw down a tree, and it's taking forever. And someone walks by and sees him and says, "Oh, wow, you know," he's like, I can't talk. And they're like, "All right, fine." And they come back, and he's not much farther along. And they say, "Hey, you know, do you ever think about, you know, possibly sharpening your saw? You've been at it for a while. It might have a dull blade." And he goes, "No, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that." And so he ends up spending way more time and effort than he had to if he would have taken some time to sharpen his saw and then go back to it. It would have gotten done a lot more efficiently, right? So there is a lot of truth to that. I'm not saying
I believe that with our own physical, mental, and emotional well-being as well. If you're working yourself ragged, especially physically, you're going to slow down your pace. So you do need to take a break, a rest, get a fresh eye in the morning, especially if it's a project. You know, how many times I stayed up for a week straight getting ready for World Finals or something, when I probably would have worked faster if I had taken a night or two off to sleep. You know, DB Drag Finals, it's crunch time, right? You're getting the vehicle ready, building a new box, whatever you're doing. And it's 6 a.m. You're still working, but you're stripping wire like this because you're just so run down. If you were to take a couple hours to rest, then the next day you come and strip wires much quicker. So that's kind of my idea, is taking once in a while, just making sure your pace is sustainable.
Let's go up a little.
Yeah, we got a couple messages here. Jacko asked, when did we start?
Wait, awesome to see you guys. Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jason, for the compliment. We appreciate that. We started in 2017. The official date, I believe, is July 15th of 2017. And we've been in business for almost 5 years. And our first product was released in January of 2018 at CES. Well, we went over to Scotty's booth at Access Power, and we used that for our platform. And I built the site from August through December and launched it January 1st of 2018 so that we can sell our first products. We didn't have a lot at the time. We had mostly switches and voltmeters and a relay box. That's all. It's kind of funny to think about it, you know, at this point. But yeah, that's when we started.
Mike has a question about batteries. Recommended upgraded under the hood battery for a Subaru Forester with a mild sound system, 90 to 100 amp draw. So it does depend on your power level. AGM is still a solid choice. You know, just because lithium is the new kid on the block, the new one out there that's making all waves in car audio, doesn't mean AGM isn't as good as it's always been, or even better. The technology has reached a point where it's solid and reliable as long as you treat it right. You know, you have a 90 to 100 amp draw on your system. It's a good amount. It's more than factory, but it's not a whole lot. So to go invest in lithium, sure, that'll work. If you want to reduce your budget, then a nice AGM under the hood. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure what. It depends on what year Forester, but let's say D3400. So an excess power D series battery will work fine. For 90 to 100 amp draw, you don't need anything super crazy and we won't sell you something you don't need. That's what we're big on. We want to educate, make sure you get what fits right. For 90 amp to 100 amp draw, you don't need a Titanate. Will a Titanate work? Yes. We'd be happy to make that sale if that's really what you wanted, but that is overkill for you. So if you just want a nice solid D series, the one that'll fit, we do have a couple. I'm looking at one over there. We have one shipping over there. So we have a couple in stock here. Depending on the size, any excess power D series will work for you. Fine. Yeah. Jacko and Travis are talking about rest and work. You know, longer the business is growing.
Sometimes force is needed. Oh yeah. Well, Travis, that's where I want to get to that point where I can take those breaks and feel okay about it. Thankfully, I'm built a lot like my father, who was a constant worker. I wouldn't say a workaholic. My dad didn't live to work. He worked to live, right? And I'm kind of the same way. I'm not addicted to work. However, um, we're at a point, and we've been at a point, especially the past 2 years. That's how long I've been here on full time, to supercharge things, try to get things growing a lot faster. And I've just decided to dedicate more time, and thankfully I'm built the way I am, and it doesn't bother me. As a matter of fact, it's energizing. I get a lot out of it. It's enjoyable. It's kind of like the analogy my mom and I make always with death metal. Death metal relaxes me. It makes me calm. It makes her nuts. It makes her want to kill somebody, right? So certain stimuli, I guess maybe because I have an ADHD brain, I don't know. Certain stimuli is soothing, and so I guess like the oh shit factor, the got to get this done, that motivates me. That is kind of soothing, because I'm more efficient when I do it that way. If I put it off, or if I give myself the option to just do it later or relax or take a break, it's like productivity just dive bombs. So it's very personal. It's very like how I'm built, how my brain works. But everybody is different, and so you have to listen to your body. You have to listen to your mind. What's the old adage? They say if you listen to your mind and body when it whispers, you won't have to hear it scream. And that's important. So stay in tune with your health, your mental health, your physical health.
Yeah.
And if you can't do it, take a break. You know what I mean? There's no shame in that.
And it depends on what the task is. Can you imagine trying to do an all-nighter setting up these racks here?
Yeah.
Yet doing all-nighters at something that is quote-unquote tedious, that needs fine work, like setting up a circuit, crimping wires, or something small like that. Like I said, preparing for BB Drag finals, the little things like that, tuning your amplifiers. I'd be able to do that all night. I might be slower at it, but when I'm tired in the middle of the night, I get more meticulous and make sure that I'm taking my time to set everything up right. So if you know that about yourself, then you can pick and choose, if you're able to, the tasks to do at certain times of the day or certain days of the week, depending on how your body is doing and what your schedule is like.
Mm-hmm.
And I do agree. I get, if there's a day where I'm not making progress on at least one thing, I feel bad about myself. And that's not exactly the healthiest, but it is a motivator. It motivates that even on my days off or nights where I'm resting, I'm not fully 100% resting. I'm still progressing on something. It might not necessarily be for a project at work. It could be progressing through something in life, like doing yard work or something in the home that also needs to get done that might have went undone for months. So there's always progress through life.
Scroll up a little. I want to see. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
And we got Chronic talking about his business.
Big and so big. I wrote 400 of the finest cook of the day. Sold it all profit. Is great as real things.
I prefer Pepsi.
Some pot.
But no, do your thing, man. But yeah, I mean, you got it right. And hey, if you need someone, got someone that needs lithium, and they need the excess power Titan 8 batteries, we got you.
Jocko, 1.21 gigawatts.
Work hard, play harder.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. I mean, there is something to be said of there's exceptional people in this world that, and a lot of them, they don't necessarily come from nothing, but they find the formula to turn anything, little or a lot, into something big for themselves. So someone did mention Elon Musk. There's someone who, he didn't grow up poor. His dad owned a diamond mine or something like that. but he was able to take what he did have and be able to make it work for him to turn into one of the biggest billionaires of all time with one of the biggest new companies, a brand new American car manufacturer, and it's doing well. Like, that's a tremendous feat. So anything like that, there's these exceptional people in the world, the Steve Jobs, the now Elon Musk, the Bill Gates, people like this, that whatever formula they found for themselves is beyond the average person, as far as their workflow, whatever it is. And I'm sure they give talks on it and write about it. So if it works for you and you have the similar goals, then yeah. Rich has a lot of audiobooks he listens to, for a lot of things on skills and tips and tricks on business and how to pilot through the ins and outs and find ways to manage things better. I think that could be helpful. I'll just listen to you after you're done the audiobook.
Well, yeah, that's the fun part about digesting. I can kind of give them the cliff notes. Think and Grow Rich is a big one if anybody is interested. It's written by Napoleon Hill. He spent, I think it was 20 years interviewing all of the, I think it was the 100 most successful men. That includes Thomas Edison, that's Henry Ford, that's Andrew Carnegie, all the big guys. I believe
that the Carnegie Hall guy? Is that what they named it after?
Oh, I don't know. It could be Dale Carnegie. I'm not sure. But he went basically to interview them over 20 years to find out what common thread that they had. Because you're talking about different personalities, different industries, all this disparity. But what was the one common thing that made them all successful? And it's really eye-opening. And guys like Elon Musk, guys like today that you hear talking, if you read the book, you start to see when they're speaking, you hear these common threads. They all kind of do many of the same things. So I'm trying to model, my brain after that. It's a lot of it's mental, and it's at first difficult to get yourself into the swing of a new way of thinking, but that's the first step. And many people spend a long time on that first step because it's a way of thinking that it's counterintuitive, I guess, sometimes, because you figure if this were so easy, everybody would be doing it. It sounds too simple. It's just like, no, it's really not. But that's why it gets passed by. It's kind of like they say, the brain comes standard equipment at birth, and anything that we didn't pay anything for, we perceive as having no value. That's, and so it's kind of trying to get you to realize just how much your brain is worth and valued, and I guess how to tap into that. You know what I mean? So maybe that's part of what keeps me driven and able to work as long as I do, and still feel energized and happy about it. It's a mentality thing.
We have a product question. So we've got Jose Ruiz and El Fuego in the house.
So an FBX. So as you know, it's a passive unit. It can't be switched because all of the current that's coming to those terminals is going to need to run through a switch, right? So in that case, it would be something that can handle 90 amps or above, and therefore you're talking about a large relay. Or a couple relays together.
But switching all of those separate is the relay box.
Yeah.
Is the RBX.
Yeah. So,
and if you're asking for more, we do have plans for a larger relay box at some point. Right now, we figured if someone wants 8 channels, they would just use 2 relay boxes. But we may just have a housing for 2 of them in one at some point. So,
yeah, we thought about coming up with a base where you can screw, let's say, 2 relay boxes together next to each other, and it's slotted in a way that when they set in there, we can sell a large piece of acrylic that covers both and links them together, so it looks like one big unit. But very few people would have needed more than 4 switches, as far as we've heard. And occasionally we'll get someone that has, will buy 2 relay boxes and wants to link them together, but it's just not
big show
very
cars
common.
might be a little bit different, but that's rare.
El Fuego, that is so kind of you to say. Car audio company, accessory company of the year. We hope so.
I'm talking about a rat. I wish there were rats here. My girl Susie has 6 pet rats, and they're adorable, and I love them, and they crawl on me. I wish they were here to visit. We are at 30 minutes, but it looks like we got Rick in the house. What's Rick talking about? What's up, fellas? Did I see somewhere before you're going to start producing standard fuse blocks? No, we have our multi small wire fuse block. The FBX has 12 FBX 12. So there's 12 fuses in it, basically. So done in different ways with a ground. So that is 25 amps and down. I believe, yeah. So that we have, and we may, if there's requests to do smaller blade fuse stuff, we may do more versions of that. But that's what we have there.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to RBXs, you didn't think about that?
Very cool.
Well, maybe we'll build the links plate system that Rich was describing, and you could be the first one.
Yeah, it's fairly simple. All you're really doing is you're mounting the plate, and then you're mounting the relay boxes to that plate. So it's like a mount inside of a mount.
So it'll act as one unit in mounting.
Yep.
But really be 2 of our boards there.
Yep.
So we're after 31 minutes, so we'll get going. We actually have one of our Ioxys Ultra Caps we're putting in Rich's GTO over there.
Mm-hmm.
We do have some length on that cable if you want to swing it around and point at all.
I see.
And show the facility a little bit.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah. You can at least see your GTO there. We don't have to get details or anything, but what we are doing, guys, as like a test kind of battery maintenance jump start system, we got a Ioxys Ultra Cap back there, and there's our facility. So Rich has the camera up high right now. That's got to be 10 feet in the air. See, I'm down here. So we're going to have a lot of fun things in the future to work with. And the reason, like the U-Start, so we have those on sale. You could get a 2-pack. What I like Ultra Caps, Super Caps most for is that they actually lengthen the life of your batteries. And I don't think that's advertised and talked about enough. But, oh no. All right, we're signing off anyway. The sound is still on. Guys, Rich pulled the cable out by accident of the camera, but it's okay. We're about to sign off. There, it's back in for our sign off. El Fuego said compliments all the time. It gets compliments on the RBX4 from installers in the auto community. Sexy look and functionality. Yeah, hey, that's exactly what we intended, and I'm glad to get that feedback and that it's doing its thing.
Yep. Hopefully awesome. we get more installers, using these and carrying these as standard equipment, so that when they're going to install a system with accessories, which pretty much every system will have some kind of 12-volt accessory, that they throw a relay box in there. So that's where our goal is, and we don't just have one. We have the Lite 4, which is a stripped down version, doesn't have all the bells and whistles. So that's another cool thing. But the 4CH is pretty badass, I gotta admit.
Yeah.
The remote input, the ignition interrupt, I like that a lot. And the fact that it can be linked to another one is also pretty cool.
Yeah. So keep a lookout, guys. So we should be back Wednesday with further along on our facility. So look out for that. And in the meantime, if you do have any questions, comments, concerns, products you're interested in that we have, shoot us a message. Facebook, Sparked Innovations. We are here on YouTube. You can leave a comment, Sparked Innovations. If you want to follow us, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications. You can visit the website, sparkedinnovations.com. You can just email Rich, Rich at sparkedinnovations.com, or me, or support at, or whatever, it's fine. We're on Instagram, TikTok, although we're not as active on there. You can follow us, Sparked Innovations, again, just like everything else. And
Jose, yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, the amount of accessories some people have, and we've seen guys have, like, in Jeeps. Oh my God, the amount of little bells and whistles and stuff they want to hook up in that.
Yep. I'm using 3 relay boxes in my HHR. You can do the same. All right, we'll sign off.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care, guys.
Everybody that tuned in and commented, we appreciate you guys very much. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.